Yes, hello. Thank you for still being with us. Welcome back. And it's that segment that we have right now, the Business Insight. And of course, in studio, I have a guest with me who is coming from the UBOS office. He's the chairman of board of directors. And of course, because today the government has launched the census for population and housing to start, which was today they are going to start the preparations and everything. So I'm going to be introducing the guest to you, and he will be saying hello to you, and then we can start with the topic of the day. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Charlotte.
I'm fine. How are you? Welcome to our studios.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Please say hello to our viewers and please introduce yourself to them.
Good morning, viewers. My name is Albert Biamugisha. I'm the chairman of the board of directors, Uganda Bureau of Statistics. Yes. And I'm happy to be here to inform the country, the event that is going to take place today.
Yes. Okay. Thank you for honoring our invite and coming through to shed more light to our viewers and to tell us what people need to know. You know, most people are out there, they don't know what to do here or there, so they need to know how it's going to be done, and they need to be updated. And you know, some people don't know about the census since it takes place every 10 years. And if you can see, the last census we had here in Uganda was in 2014 around August. So the last population that they had checked at that time, the last time they checked, do you still have a number? And then they kept predicting within the 10 years the population of the number that kept increasing.
Yeah. Today, Uganda is going to conduct population census. As you are aware, population census takes place every 10 years. The last census took place in 2014. Yes. And of course, 10 years, if we are to be in the 2020 group, ends 2024, which is next year. So Uganda now prepares to do the next census next year, in 2024. And the cabinet has designated the day of 9th and 10th. They have gazetted it as a census night. So the midnight of 9th and 10th, and you know, the day ends, a night has two days. Yes. It ends at midnight and starts at midnight. The following day. So the end of 9th and the beginning of 10th, May 2024, is gazetted as a census night. And the following day will be a public holiday, which is a Friday, which government has gazetted, and it will be a day for counting all the people in this country. Yes. And in so doing, today the Bureau with other partners are preparing to have a launch for the census, and it will be presided over by His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, yes, at Kororo ground. So we are inviting all the people who may not be able to go to Kororo to go to the media houses or tune on their televisions, starting at 2 up to around 4, and listen in. But most importantly, the day is very important for Uganda because it is a day that we are opening up the publicity on the population census that is going to take place next year in May, as I have explained. Okay. So I call upon all the people to participate in this population census. Yes. Because it is of national importance. If we have quality data that the government can use for planning and taking decisions, then it will help us in transforming the economy of this country. Okay, thank you so much. So during this census that is going to be taking place, individuals are going to be home. You said it's going to be a public holiday. Are they going to do it in just one day? The census will take 10 days. Okay. But the gazetted night of 9th and 10th is when the census starts. Okay. So people will be counted from where they are found, where they stayed a night. So on 10th, in the morning before census counting starts, and people will be counted. Okay. And it will go on for 10 days. Okay. And it will take place in the whole country. Okay. So these people that are home,
Is there something when they come to count them, is there something they're supposed to find them with? Is there something they're supposed to have? Is there something they need to know before you people get there?
Starting from today, we are going to have awareness to the whole population so that they are aware of what is going to happen. We have put in place different structures to plan for the census.
Yes.
The topmost is the population, the Census Council, chaired by the Prime Minister. Then you have the steering committee, chaired by the Permanent Secretary and Secretary Treasury. Then you have the other one of the board, which is chaired by myself. And we have the management team and advisory team, chaired by the Executive Director of UBOS, up to the local government, up to the districts. Where the chief administrative officers and town clerks will be responsible for that. And of course, now the structures go up to the village level because, you know, population census will be counting each and every person in this country.
Yes.
And in so doing, we are going to start now mobilizing the people, informing the people of what is going to happen. And that's why we have this launch by His Excellency, informing the whole country, the whole world, that we shall be having population census. Next year, we shall be highlighting the importance of the census, the development of the economy for this country, and therefore, by May next year, all the people should be aware of this exercise. So what exactly happens? When, during the day of counting, all the people, all the households are expected to be at home. When the enumerator comes to the household, he will find members of the household gathered outside, seated, and then they count them. And this time we are going to use copies, which are tablets, for the first time in the history of this country.
They used to use
because we have been using questionnaires, where we had very large questionnaires. Enumerator asked questions to the households, filling the questionnaire to take quite a longer time. But we have the tablets which will be used by the enumerators, and the enumerator will be asking questions to the households. And as they answer, the data is entered.
So we have economically developed, so we can now use tabs. Yes.
Developed. We are going to use tabs, and we shall have tabs for all the enumeration areas.
Wow, that is good to hear.
We are going to buy more than 120,000 tablets, and that is it.
Wow.
So questions will be answered to the households, and they will answer in return.
Oh, okay. So thank you so much for that enlightenment on the population census that is going to take place. So here today we wanted to talk about the population and the housing, the census that, yes, it's going to take place. But today, why I invited you to the studio, I wanted us to talk about the increase of population that we are having and how it's affecting our economy at large as a country.
Yeah. If we go back to the last census of 2014, the population was about 34%, around 34%. And now it is projected to percentage should almost go to zero. Actually, by 2030, according to the SDGs, it should go to zero.
Yes.
Meaning that when we are measuring and we are looking at the 5 P's. The first one would be the people.
People.
We collect information on the people.
Okay.
Disaggregated by gender, to know how many girls, how many women they are in the population. By age, at what age levels, because in 2014 in the last population census, the children who were below 18 years were 55%. So are we still at 55%, or the number has gone up? And more likely, may have gone more up. So the government must plan for that population. And then we are looking at the schools. Of course, people, you are looking at the schools, you are looking at the hospitals, you are looking now at the economy, the prosperity of these people, where you are looking at the infrastructure.
Yes.
In terms of roads, energy, and
health sector, yes.
And even environment.
Yes.
Environment is very important. The planet also must be looked at. So when we are collecting information, we are collecting information which is characterized in 3 dimensions: the social, economic, and environmental dimensions. So all the characteristics we need within those 3 dimensions will be captured.
Okay. So does the government usually share the budget of the census when it's going to take place? Does it share it to the public?
Yeah, it shows that it is public, because the budget of the census is part of the government budget with all other entities and institutions. Of course, they usually have their budgets, and the census is one of them.
So, so when you look at it over the years that the census has been going on, the amount of money that was used back then to carry out this census and the amount of money that is being used now, what is the difference?
The difference is that previously, of course, the population was smaller than what we talked about. In 2014, for example, the population was around 34.5 million, and now estimated at 45.6.
Yes.
So the number of people have increased. And of course, when you are talking of conducting a census to very many people, it becomes more, you pay more than previously. And then what must viewers note is that this time the government is contributing more than 90%. While previously government would contribute around 70% and the remaining percent by the development partners. But now government, because the ruling party knows the importance of data, and they have made sure that all of the funds required will be provided and they are in their budget.
Okay. On that very note, how has the NPHC data been used to track and measure economic progress in Uganda over the time?
How we have used it, we have, as I have indicated, we have a vision which is implemented in a series of 5 development plans.
Yeah.
We had the first development plan, which started from 2010 to 15, second one from 2015 to 2020, and then now we are having the 3rd development plan from 21 to 2025. And of course, this plan becomes meaningful when it is measured. So the data which we collect through censuses or surveys helps government, first of all, in the planning process. So the data helps in the planning process. It helps during the implementation stage and execution. And then we use this data to monitor progress in the performance of the economy. Because the economy, of course, we are looking at our National Development Plan, which is ending 2025. And throughout, we must monitor how we are progressing in the plan. And of course, we must use the data. So the data is very important, that since it is used for all what I've talked about, it is important that we have got current and credible data.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the increased number of immigrants into our country, the increased number of immigrants that we have in our country, you know, we have so many foreigners right now if you look into it. So when you're carrying out the census, you also count the foreigners that are in the country, or you only do it for the Ugandan nationals?
All the persons
that are in the country.
That are in the country.
Okay.
During that census night, and in the 10 days after the census night, will be counted. Whether they are Ugandans, whether they are foreigners, will be counted.
Okay. So what is your view on immigration, most especially when it comes to the population increase and employment rate in Kampala, standard of living, actually the whole of Uganda? Because the more we have immigrants coming in, and you know, each day that comes by here in Uganda, we keep having more and more people come to our country. And you know, this has most of the time affected us when it comes to jobs, the education, the health sector, of course, also the roads, the traffic is more. So what is your take on that?
I think it depends. I wish you had the data for that, because not all immigrants are bad.
No, I didn't say they are bad.
I'm saying we have to clarify the immigrants we are talking about.
Yes.
They are refugees, people who have run away from their countries for safety and are in Uganda.
Yes. And
according to our refugee policy, which is the best, I think, in the whole world, here in Uganda, is we accommodate anyone who comes for safety. And we have about 1.5 million refugees, and they are kept in designated places. But we have many, even other foreigners who have come for business. They are doing trade, others are investors. And when you check the people who are investors and they have come from outside, actually have contributed to improvement.
Yes, to the economy more than us, yes.
And even, of course, there may be others who come in and get jobs, but it depends on which jobs they have got, not necessarily, of course, in the government. In the government, I don't think we have deployed foreigners, except we can hire consultants who can work on a rotation basis.
Yes.
But otherwise, remember, these foreigners who come here eat food. And this food, they don't come with it.
They find it
planted by Ugandans. And you know, more of our people do work in farms and so, of course, and produce food. So we need also people to eat our food.
Yes.
We need the people to set up factories and create employment. You are talking of employment. The more investors we have in this country, the better even for us, for our younger people, to get the jobs. And even the government gets taxes through these people. Yes, so it's not bad when you talk of the jams, the what and what, etc. And mostly they are not foreigners filling in our roads, and so of course they are Ugandans and what. So if we have the policy on investment, and if we follow it, then it will be okay.
Yeah.
And that's why we are conducting the population census. We need to know who are these people, Charlotte, you are talking about. We usually see them, but who are these people and what are they doing?
Yes.
So the population census will tell us the type of people, because everyone will be counted and will be asked what they are doing.
Yes.
And the person must say either, I am a visitor, I have been here for a week or 2 weeks, I am an investor, I have a factory, I have an industry, I am employing all of this one here. All of that information will be collected. Because even at all of those places will be reached and people counted who are working. Yeah. So that's why we are conducting the census, so that we answer the question you are talking about.
Oh, okay. So also when you look at all that, because we've talked about immigration, but we also have migration. We have a big number of Ugandans who have been leaving the country most of the time to go get jobs. So when we come back from this small break that we are going to take, we are going to talk about the number of Ugandans that are migrating to go and get jobs, the Ugandans that are not in the country at the moment, and how the population is going to be done, the population census is going to be done for them when they come back. Let's take a short break. We'll be right back.
Okay, thank you.